breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land, yeah.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
Welcome, everybody, to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight, who gave Washington permission? Washington keeps expanding its power. Consent keeps disappearing. We're questioning whether the federal government is a delegated agent or a self-appointed ruler. That means money, inflation, central banking, drug laws and jury power, medical mandates and research control, foreign wars, alliances, and the business of conflict, and who really runs the system behind the scenes. Three notable political minds take this on with no talking points and no dodging. Get ready, because tonight you decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us for the first time, Dave Benner. He is the host of the Liberty Vault podcast on YouTube. That's at Liberty-Vault. Website is libertyvault.net. And you can see his link tree there, dbenner83. And on X, also dbenner83. He's also the author of these three books: Thomas Paine, A Life of Radicalism, The 14th Amendment and the Incorporation Doctrine, and Compact of the Republic, the League of States, and the Constitution. How are you tonight, Dave?
Dude, I'm great. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun, and let's do it, man.
Excellent. Thanks for doing this, man. Joining us for his 900th time, he is the host of the They Both Suck podcast, which is on semi-annually on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can get his swag at the awakenotwokestore.com, and you can follow him on X at American versus Gov. His name may be spelled wrong in the chat, but he's my buddy. Kaecey Rasmussen, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm glad I'm here. This is going to be a good one. Glad we're going to be kicking this off already, because my birthday's tomorrow, so this will be a lot of fun.
Oh, excellent. I thought you were going to say this is the best intro anybody's ever given you.
No, I can't say that, because
no.
you'll end up messing something up later. So
that's true. That's true. Right. I'm about to hit a wrong button, so I'm feeling it. Excellent. Also joining us for, I don't know, the fifth, eighth time, something like that, my buddy Carl Krambeck. You know him as the scientific libertarian, or as we like to call him, Cy. He is a former candidate for the Iowa House of Representatives. You can follow him on X at Cy Libertarian. How are you tonight, Cy?
Oh, I'm doing great. I got my whole setup. I was looking at Kaecey's setup, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it like Kaecey.
Did you think this was like a crocheting tutorial? Like, what were you setting up for?
Makeup tutorial. I got my brushes right here.
Excellent.
Right here.
Excellent. I want you to be a little bit better looking every time we come back to you.
Yeah. Here, let me touch you up a little bit there. Free. All right, there we go.
Oh, Jesus.
great. Really great now.
Oh, and on that note, the prettiest of the bunch, joining us as always, Terry Batts. How are you tonight, Terry?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited for the show. I'm ready for the chat. I just want you guys to know that Casey's already sucking up and getting birthday points. So y'all got to come up with something. Look at this. This is funny. Oh, and if you
Excellent.
get Emily, Casey, you get another 200. So
We'll get there.
Yeah, he spaces it out. You can follow Terry and I on X. I am at Smarter Game Show. She is Bats T76. Did I say that right? Yeah. All right. You can get our swag at freedomsuperstore.com. I am wearing the Make Anarchy Great Again t-shirt tonight because it's cold in here. But we have t-shirts and mugs there. Terry will be putting our shorts on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. Also, if you haven't seen us at a convention, we're doing 5 more live shows at Libertarian State Conventions, and you can be there. The next stop is San Diego on February 14th. We're leaving soon. Come meet fellow freedom lovers, watch the show live, and see contestants put to the test. If you want real change, join your state party, become a delegate, and help shape the national convention. Don't just talk about liberty, live it. Also, our exciting news we broadcast last week, but Terry and I are hosting a live 3-hour extravaganza supporting the amazing organization that is You Are the Power. Our buddy Spike Cohen takes on a gauntlet of formidable friends with plenty of suspense, chaos, and laughs, all for an amazing cause. So join us March 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern. First, we reinvented political shows. Now we're reinventing fundraisers, big guests, real impact, one powerful cause. We're super excited about that. Thank you to our subscribers, Terry, Amity, Ocean Blue, Shirley, Dr. Belay and Lisa, Dan, Chris. Casey's paying to be here, so he should probably win. Dave, Jake, Phil, Jacob, Anarcho Syndicate Clothing, cool stuff. Rob and Papa B just joined us. And also on our last show, Lars Mapstead, the great Lars Mapstead, joined us as a subscriber, so we really appreciate it. You can subscribe to us on X for all this cool stuff. And if you want to sponsor us, email studio@freedomuncut.com. Let's jump into the chat real quick and see what's going on. Chat seems to be hopping already. Amity says, first 200 to Dave for agreeing to join this crazy bunch.
Good choice.
Hello? Dan's here. What's up, Dan? Anarchist Chef's here. Welcome. Jake's here. What's up? Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to be on Jake's show tomorrow with Jake and Mark. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern. If by Whiskey, it's going to be a good show. Never done a show with Jake or Mark before, so it's going to be really fun. Shirley joining us from across the pond. Love you, Shirley. Thank you. Casey says, bring back Tub. That'd be fun. There's been talks. Rose is here. What's up, Rose? 200 to Dave. If he comes on the podcast, I'm in Nashville too. Let's do this. Brent's got an amazing podcast too. I can't think of the name, but Emily's here. What's up, Emily? 200 points to Casey for the birthday. Here we go. Pandering. Mike's here. What's up, Mike? Thanks for the repost. Yeah, here we go again. Yeah. Here we go. Yep. Where is she?
Oh, we got 5 people on screen, so my camera's smaller. So
yeah.
You could.
We didn't see her.
Because
nope,
yeah,
that didn't count. That didn't count. Oh, there she is. She beat me. Minus 100 to Cy for being in a girl's closet. Yep, that's fair. Yep. 200 to Casey for having. Here we go. Yeah. 100 to Carl for the beautiful girly setup. One and only Goob. Welcome. 100 to Carl for the touch up.
Oh, jeez.
50 to Casey if he's older than me. Minus 50 if he's younger. I think he's younger. He's younger than me. I think we're around the same age, Dan. What's up, Chris? Minus 200 Carl because he still doesn't follow me. That's fair. 200 to Cy for the scented candles and the strawberry shortcake theme.
Oh,
that's also good. 100 to my other half, Casey, since it's his birthday tomorrow. You're getting all sorts of Emily points, and that's not fair. 100 to Dave for fighting the fight. What's up, Nomi? All right. Let's pull this up here. Again, welcome to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Please share this out. Help us bust the algorithm, as Kaecey likes to say. The winner tonight, no peace prizes matter, so we made a peace prize that matters. This is the Are You Smarter Than a Peace Prize for the champion tonight. We also have on the prize shelf Mike Johnson's signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. We also have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician if you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. We also have all of the bobbleheads, Ron Paul, Rothbard, Soul, Massey, Basquiat, Ayn Rand, whose birthday it just was, her heavenly birthday. Got a bunch of cool ones here. Also, we have the ICE Agent training kit. Everything you need to know about being a real ICE agent in 30 minutes. It's got the official ICE badge, guns for dummies, the toy gun, and the honorary GED degree, as well as some disguises so you don't have to embarrass your family for being an ICE agent. Also, we have Drone Wars, Empire Overkill. It's a new game. It's got endless wars, collect resources, topple regimes. It's got CIA quests, lobbyist mode, and infinite downloadable content. We also have, if you're feeling a little foggy, we've got Orange Mush, the anti-dementia formula. It boosts memory, sharpens focus, clears confusion, make your brain great again. Also, if you like playing with dolls, we have the in-action figures here. And we also have, nobody will take this piece of shit. So somebody's literally, one of you three has to take this tonight. It's the Trump nativity set. We're like a month and a half past Christmas. Somebody's got to take this. And of course, we got the Lego Killdozer, because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Kaecey do. Here are the rules. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are they can debate each other. They can filibuster, veto an answer, tariff an answer, redistribute an answer, and everybody starts off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first. Here's how scoring works. The chat controls the score. So you in the chat can give or take up to 100 points from the contestants. And because I am the government and I believe in crony capitalism, subscribers can give or take up to 200 points because they pay me, so they matter more. Nuking a score. Any former contestant can nuke a score, taking it down 1,000 points. But be strategic with it, or strategery, as Bush would say, because a contestant can only be nuked one time, and there's got to be a good reason or we'll just ignore you. Lightning round. Let's get started. I will put Terry in the back here. She controls the score in the chat, so make her life extremely difficult. Thank you so much, Terry. All right, we're going to go to you first here, Dave. The category is drug policy. Should states be allowed to legalize drugs without federal interference?
Well, absolutely. I think decriminalization is even better because legalized, like, it confers an ability for the government to tax it, but no. And even if you're just coming from this at a constitutional standpoint, the 10th Amendment says that all powers not delegated to the central government are controlled by the states. Article 1, Section 8 doesn't delegate that power to the feds. And just beyond that, on the basis of natural law, you have the right to digest or have whatever substance you want, you know, whether it's recreational or not. It's your body. Self-ownership principles apply. And that's where I stand.
Excellent. Great answer. All right, Kaecey, to you. Should juries be allowed to ignore unjust drug laws?
Yes, they can. You can nullify, and nullification is a superpower when you are a juror. So I believe it already exists. We just don't talk about it enough and empower people to utilize it so we can actually overturn these unjust laws that shouldn't be existing.
Excellent. All right, Cy, to you. Should addiction be treated as a health issue, not a crime?
Oh, absolutely. You have like 100,000 some heroin deaths in the U.S. every single year, and they have what's called safe usage sites. Basically, there's a nurse on standby. They give you a dosage that they know probably won't kill you, but if it does, they got a nurse there with some Narcan just in case anything goes wrong. So you have 100,000 people dying every year taking street heroin. you have a total of 0 people worldwide who have ever died at a safe usage site. So it's like you can send them to prison. That's going to cost you what, $70,000 a year per inmate, or you can just send them to a safe usage site and spend pennies on the dollar.
Excellent. That's also what college costs, by the way. I don't know if that's like a correlation without causation there, but yeah. All right. Dave, back to you. Categories inflation. Is inflation primarily caused by government spending?
I would say that's downstream from government spending because the way it's financed is creating more fiat currency that's paper currency not backed by bullion or other standardized commodities. And the spending actually encourages the central bank to finance it that way. They levy the invisible tax. That's inflation, which used to mean, by economic terminology, just an expansion of the money supply. But now that's treated as if inflation is just the rise of costs. That's symptomatic of the underlying principle of expanding the money supply. So the answer is yes, but it's actually downstream of it.
Excellent. Kaecey, to you. Should money creation require public approval?
Yeah. It's our taxpayer money that, well, not taxpayer money. It's our money that's in our bank account that gets drained by the government as they keep printing. And they don't even have to touch our money in the bank account. They can just devalue it where it's at. So it should require some insight from the American people that will take the big hit if we just continue this printing scheme. But we all know the government's it would end their fancy lifestyle in the $1.2 trillion they signed today. So it's not going to happen.
All right. Whoop. Wrong button. There you go, Kaecey. For your birthday, hit the wrong button. There we go. We're on the board. Yeah. Side to you. Should states be allowed to shield residents from federal inflation policy?
I mean, they should be able to. I'm not sure exactly how they would do it through federal inflation policy, because then we may have to be on separate currencies. But, separate currencies are probably a good idea to increase competition. Inflation, it doesn't just devalue your dollar. It's also kind of crony capitalism, right? Because if you're rich, you have a lot of assets, and then inflation hits, your assets will eventually gain money. They will expand. Like if you have a bunch of land, that land is going to cost more based on inflation. But if you don't have a whole lot of assets and you're like, lower on the totem pole, it's just not going to work. You're going to lose money continuously. So it's kind of 2 hits in one.
So you're saying they're going to take it in the assets?
They're going to take it right in those assets.
Right in the assets. Yeah. Perfect.
If you have assets, you'll be fine. But
which one? Work or email?
Oh, Siri thought I was talking to Siri. All right. No.
You say assets and Siri prompts? Really?
Yeah, I changed your name. All right.
Right on.
Dave, to you. Category is monetary policy. Should the Federal Reserve be audited in full?
Yeah, but by far beyond that, it should just be abolished. In a way, just auditing doesn't get to the root of what we radical libertarians want to do. However, yeah, I would support Ron Paul and Rand Paul and Thomas Massey, who have always wanted to audit the Fed, the assets that they have for the corrupt scheme to link with the biggest corporate banks in the world, including Bank of America and JP Morgan, to fleece the American people through a Ponzi scheme that if you or I did it, we'd be thrown behind bars for life. So yes, it should be audited, but more beneficially, just abolish the hell out of it.
Excellent.
Big facts.
Kaecey, to you. Should unelected officials control the nation's money supply?
Absolutely not. Unelected officials shouldn't control anything in our nation. And I'm looking at you, ATF. Like, you guys are useless. But yeah, we should be getting rid of anybody that is a bureaucrat, unelected bureaucrat at all. And they cannot make any laws or any decisions in our country. That's why we have elected officials. But all in all, our system is built on schemes and laundering and all of this stuff. To tear it all down, the best thing is just to burn it all down.
Excellent. Side to you. Should Congress be allowed to spend money it creates out of thin air?
No, it shouldn't. I mean, Congress, like elected officials, should not have that much control over the monetary policy. They should have to have a balanced budget. They should have to live within their means, just like every other American has to. It's just ridiculous that we can spend money, hide taxes through inflation, and then, you know, these guys see no repercussions and they get a pay raise, you know, because they're doing such a great job, right? They're just going to vote. They all vote for the pay raise because they're like, we're doing great.
What, Carl, at your job, you don't vote for your own pay raise?
You don't do that? Oh, man.
I do every day.
You're like, all four of us are going to vote to see if we get a pay raise.
There's no conflict of interest there, though, because it's the government. I mean, they just reflect our interests, so that's no problem, though. So
Yeah.
I'm going to lose points for that. Don't judge me on that joke, guys. Don't judge me.
They're slick enough. They picked up on that. They get our sarcasm.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Dave. Category is central banking as institutionalized fraud. Is it fraud to dilute your money without explicit consent?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's fraudulent to do anything to your wealth holdings that is seizing it or seizing a portion of it. It's no different than other forms of taxation, except for it's more duplicitous in a way because it's unlegislated. And trust me, I don't think that taxation through legislation is just either, because that doesn't require the consent of the individual from which they're stealing from. But inflation is in some ways worse because it's just an oligarchic board that determines we have the ability to extort this amount of money from you. So absolutely, that is a complete violation of your rights, your wealth, and your person.
Awesome. Kaecey, to you. Should banks get special privileges ordinary people don't get?
No one gets special privileges. But in our country, we seem to give special privileges to politicians, wealthy billionaires, all of them. But we should all be treated equal. But we already know that we have a two-tier justice system and all of the things that come into play. But we're never going to be equal to those people.
You don't get bailed out when your bills come due at the end of the month?
Oh, well, I would love to, but no.
No. All right, back to the craft corner with Cy.
Oh, Jesus.
Should the public get a vote before money is devalued?
I mean, they should just stop devaluing the money, really. I mean, it's in no one's best interest. And all it is just bribing citizens. They're like, oh, you know, they'll go through the campaign and they'll be like, you know what, I'm going to pay off your college debt. You know what, I'm going to, you know, secure the border, eliminate your competition in whatever business you're doing. And then, you know, your pay is going to go up because there's going to be less employees. Like it's just a constant bribing of the citizens. And then you have a company coming in to get their bribe and they get a 1,500% return on their investment. No, it shouldn't be voted on. You should not be favoring one person over another in the United States. All men are created equal.
There you go. All right. Back to you, Dave. Category is academic research funding and control. Should the federal government control what research gets funded?
No, of course not, because it presents possibly like the biggest conflict of interest in history. We just saw that with the COVID regime just a few years ago, where you had all this collusion between academic scientists and government. And guess what they did? They weighed in way beyond their means, controlled the populace through religious restrictions, through 6-foot rules that even Fauci eventually said came out of nowhere. They closed down kids' sports, shut down businesses, instituted martial law or quasi-martial law in some places. You had curfews, restrictions, and then impunity for the big pharma giants whose product was injected into people's veins because of this scheme that linked academic scientists and government. The worst of both worlds is the collusion to do that, push those devices on the populace to manifest in something like the COVID regime, which is the biggest form of tyranny that's probably been pushed on the American people in our entire lifetimes.
Absolutely. Kaecey, to you. Should dissenting scientific views lose access to grants?
I'm gonna go with yeah. I can't justify their full reasons why they should be able to get them, but honestly, grants and all of that I think should all go away. I think that's how we can control and manipulate markets and control certain industries. But if we wanted to keep them, I don't see why we would want to keep that going.
All right. Side to you. Should academic funding depend on political alignment?
No, absolutely not. Academic funding, it's crazy because it's like, if, Trump's always talking about running the government like a business. Well, the only successful business he's had is selling hats so far. But if you were going to run the government like a business, you would be investing in things like nuclear energy, cell targeting research. They're curing like a whole bunch of different diseases with that. They cut pretty much all that funding. They did do a small investment in nuclear, but they're running it like a business and they're screwing it all up. So it doesn't make any sense. If you want the biggest return on your investment, you would be investing in those sciences, right? But you're not getting a return on your investment with everything else they're investing in. You're not running the government like a business like Trump said he wants to do. You're running it into the ground like a Trump casino.
No, he's gonna come out on top. He's gonna end up having a tower in Greenland.
A Greenland tower.
It's gonna happen.
Well, now you pique interest.
Did you not hear about Kushner's Gazapalooza resort in the $2 billion resort or whatever it is coming up?
They might get somewhere in Saudi Arabia, in Greenland, and I don't know. I think
we got a plane too.
Oh, you got a plane.
Yeah.
Right.
A free plane from Boeing. Who wants to take a Boeing plane right now? Anyone? I don't.
A used one. At least that means it made it somewhere.
Surprised it got here.
All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. The chat is hopping. Let's see what is going on. Oh boy, a lot going on in the chat. 200 to Chuck if he just yells out what he would usually be typing in the chat. Yeah. Size our big chatter. So 250 for Casey's birthday tomorrow. Yeah, this is gonna suck. 100 a day for the Ruger hat. 100 a day for decriminalize. More points for decriminalize. Retard News is here. What's up? Great memer. Check out Retard News.
I love that handle, by the way. I just have to say.
Well, I have a small problem with it. That assumes there's non-retard news.
Is there any other kind?
Dave busting out the 10th Amendment already, plus 200. 100 to Dave for being 100% correct about the drug issue. Nullification, 100 to KC. 200 to Dave for decriminalize. Nullification man, 200 for Kelsia. Also, since Dave, just so you're caught up, since Casey's parents misspelled his name, everybody in the chat also misspells his name. So 200 to Dave for self-ownership always applies. 200 to Cy, addiction is not a crime. Minus 100 to KC for being incoherent. Thanks for spelling that incorrectly. 150 to KC for nullification. 100 to Carl because the right answer and the good explanation. 100 to Carl, didn't know that about safe usage sites. Yeah, that was a good fact. Minus 100 to Kiki for having a horrible football team behind him. Yeah, that's true.
Nope.
200 a day for understanding money. What's up, William? Howdy, y'all. I'm late because I was trying to use AI to audit the DOD. We were unsuccessful. You can't do a successful audit of the DOD. That's fact.
They can't pass one either. Yeah.
No, they're like 0 for like 28 or something.
Yeah.
$200 Dave for his explanation of central banking and inflation. $200 Dave, nothing more libertarian than drugs. Is he talking about Gummygate? 100 to Kaecey, as in the Kaecey Chiefs.
Oh, Jesus. No, that's a no.
100 to Dave. I know a different person who's also named Dave. How strange.
Perfect reasoning. Let's do that one all day.
Small world. Small world. Minus 100 to Cy. None of that made sense. That's probably true. 200 to Dave and the Fed. 200 to Dave for mentioning Massey. A trillion to Terry. She deserves even more than that. I'm trying to herd cats and panels. So you forgot the host. 100 to Dave for auditing the Fed. 100 to Cy for taking it in the assets. Oh, who said that?
Oh,
100
wow.
to Cy. I don't have to compete with him in the chat. Nice. Yeah, it's going to be silent in the chat tonight. 100 to Dave. Abolish the Fed, but no one will participate in that audit. Minus 200 to me for inviting Tim Cook via Siri. Well, probably China too. 1 point to everyone because why not? 200 to Kaecey for getting rid of the ATF. 1,000 to Terry if she shows my comments. I'm deleting that. 100 to Kaecey, fire it down. 200 to Kaecey, F the ATF. 200 to Cy for the balanced budget. 200 to Kaecey. 100 to Cy, why? Because I'm feeling generous. 100 to Dave for having the only smart looking background. Mine's glowing. Mine's glowing.
Wait. There we go.
Yeah. The craft corner is now lit. 100 to Dave. Before I heard his answer, I knew he'd nail it. That's fair. Minus 100 to KC. Gnome should get special privileges.
Nope.
200 to Cy Carl Chuck if he eats one of those candy conversation hearts on the wall.
Wait, what?
Oh,
That thing in the background. The thing in the background.
this is.
Eat it. Eat it. Eat it.
I can't eat this. This is play.
Is it tongues? It looks like tongues.
No, it's an abstract. My daughter made this. It is beautiful. She actually got a ceramic bowl set from my friend for Christmas, right? And she decided to make this lovely wall art, and it's got texture on it.
Okay.
Play.
I think you're gonna get points for buying your daughter a bowl. I'm throwing that out there. 200 to Cy, stop devaluing our money. 100 to Dave. I watch your reviews and podcast on YouTube all the time. I didn't know you were the same person doing game shows and podcasts. Impressive holding down 2 jobs.
Your check's in the mail, man. Your check's in the mail.
Minus 200 to Dave for the Packers helmet. That's fair. I have a
Yikes.
cheese grater for you.
Yikes.
Minus 100 to Carl. Too long, didn't read. 200 to Cy Carl Chuck for all men are created equal. 100 to Dave because the Bears suck. All right, so it's working out for you.
They outplayed us this year, but as a general statement, hard to refute that.
I don't talk about history. 112 to Dave for the cool rant. 200 to Dave for the big boy library background. Yeah, I think it's the first time anybody's had multiple books in the background. I think Casey's got like Sega games back there and maybe some VHS tapes.
My biggest book is right there, and that's the Utah State Code. But whatever.
You're pointing at your head. Minus 200 obligatory points taken from Kaecey for the Bronco on his shelf. That's fair. 100 to Kaecey. I liked Elway on the field more than off the field.
Most
200
people.
to Cy for recognizing that nuclear energy is the answer. Minus 75 to KC for not getting free pet points with the stray cat in the background. I added that for Terry's sake. 100 to Carl because he's pretty good at explanations again. 100 to Cy, the Carl guy. Bill Nye is jealous.
Oh my.
88 to Cy, got to give him something. Waz is here. What's up, Waz? 100 to the biggest agorist on the panel, not by weight or height. Do we have an agorist? Agorist? Anybody?
I quasi am an agorist.
We see.
I would rather burn things down at this moment. So
Yeah.
Is that a fetish thing?
No. 100 to Dave for his awesome podcast, one of my favorites these days. 200 to Kaecey because what's up, Patty? D's here. What's up? 100 to all the contestants. Charles is here. Charlie, what's up? 500 to Scientific.
Why did Scientific? What?
Dude,
100 for daughter art. That means something different in the Epstein files, but we'll take
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
100 to size tongue collection. That's gross. Yeah, that
Well, he
was weird.
watched the Netflix Dahmer series and he just got some ideas. You can't really blame him for that.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, that was creepy. Oh man,
That was weird.
oh,
All right, let's check the scoreboard and see where we're at. Dave in the lead, 24-13. Cy right behind, 23-89. And Kaecey's right there too, 21-77. Kaecey, you're in third place. You've been there many times before. What do you think so far?
Feels like home. We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
Even with the birthday boy and with Emily, you're in third place, man. That's
Hey, I'm a lot closer than I normally am at this point.
that is absolutely true.
you better.
Cy, you pulled out the craft corner, the tongues. You went all in. You're in second place. What do you think so far?
Hey, it's Casey's birthday tomorrow, and y'all need to calm down. All right, get him. If you want him to have another birthday, you get his confidence up. All right, this is all that's getting him through. All right.
Weirdest pep talk ever.
Yes.
Dave,
very.
first time on the show and you're in first place. What do you think?
well, some people might call this beginner's luck, but I have a different term for it. I would just call it absolute utter domination, boys. Let's go. Let's keep it going.
Oh, Jesus.
I like it. I like it. All right.
Pay extra for that.
In fact, let's keep it going. Dave, back to you. Category is non-interventionist foreign policy. Should defense mean defending America, not managing other countries?
Yeah, and that was its classic definition, but before the Wilsonian export democracy everywhere experiment, which has ruined our lives for the last century, attracting far more enemies than America ever would have gotten before, put us into debt, the war on terror itself taking about $10 trillion. You had long-term occupations of Afghanistan and Iraq, where in Afghanistan you took 4 presidents, several hundreds of thousands of lives, and several $1 trillion to replace the Taliban with the Taliban. That's what you get. Real defense policy would be defending the homeland. And notice that none of America's wars are about that anymore. It's all for regime change, often at the behest of genocidal regimes like Israel and Netanyahu doing his bidding and the bidding of the globalists in Ukraine to foster a proxy war versus a nuclear power that happens to be sitting on the most nuclear warheads in the world. So yeah, absolutely. Our current foreign policy is reckless. Real defense policy would be defending the homeland, which is none of the wars are about right now.
But they had weapons of mass destruction. That was drugs and things. That's
Fentanyl.
defending us?
Fentanyl.
Hey,
Yeah.
if
Iran does too. Iran's weapons of mass destruction are just called in opposition to Israel. That's what theirs are.
Facts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
All right. Kaecey, to you. Should the U.S. close most overseas military bases?
No, the U.S. should close all overseas military bases. We don't need military bases around the world. It's our taxpayer money that's funding it. It's our taxpayer money that's building it and fixing it when it gets blown up by some idiot. We don't need to be into these other countries. We need to be home, defending our homeland. If someone comes and does something to us here, then we can respond. But that is about it. It needs to come home and stay home.
All right. Cy, to you. Should we stop policing the world to quote unquote protect our interests?
Yeah, absolutely. We do not need to be the entire world's military budget. We spend more than any other country, and most of the time, it's not even defending our interests, it's defending our allies' interests. And we should not be having entangling alliance. If you want to make NATO like a trade agreement, you say, oh, you know what? We like these countries. We'll sell weapons to these countries for a fair market price. Go for it. But we shouldn't be entangled to the point where American taxpayers have to pay for the military budget for all of Europe and any other country we deem our best buds, I guess. That doesn't make any sense.
Our greatest ally, I think you meant there. Yep.
Greatest
We should
ally.
always say allies in quotations because those are the allies of the overseers that coerce us and not our enemies facing those allies, right? But yeah.
They're not really our friends. We have to go out and we always have to pay for dinner, and we go and we're buying all the drinks. I feel like we're just paying for friends at that point, right?
Yeah, no one that killed 34 sailors in 1967 on the USS Liberty is an ally of mine. I'll just say that.
That's a fact.
I always like to say you can't spell allies without lies.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Dave, back to you. Category, speaking of our greatest ally,
Jesus.
Israel. Should U.S. aid stop if it risks dragging America into another regional war?
The question was better before stop. Should U.S. aid to Israel stop? The answer is yes, regardless of any other circumstances. All foreign aid should stop. All foreign entanglements should stop. When John Quincy Adams talked about the most redeemable features of America, he said that it goes not abroad in search of monsters to destroy. And that's what the U.S. consistently does, often but not always, at the behest of Israel. While the United States bankrolled a genocide in Gaza, made every excuse under the sun, tried to plead the Knesset to drop corruption and fraud charges against Netanyahu, and joined in on the crusade to overthrow the governments of Syria, Somalia, Iraq, and several other places, including Libya, collaborating with the neocons and the Likudniks to do that, not in America's interests. All aid should stop regardless of the country involved. Doesn't matter if you like the country or not. I happen to love Japan. I've been there twice. There should be no U.S. aid to Japan. It's not discriminating, and we would never ask questions if we said, hey, stop all aid to Germany. You wouldn't say that you're anti-German, but all of a sudden you get suspected of anti-Semitism when you say that about Israel. I say laugh at the people who say that and cut all aid to Israel no matter what, and stop the most dangerous entangling alliance that the U.S. has had in the last 60 years.
Facts.
Amazing
It's funny how Trump bashes Russia and Ukraine's war for killing people, but then he's not saying anything about Israel still striking Gaza and other nations. He's just like, it's no big deal. We'll move forward.
Yeah, they can bomb Qatar with impunity, even though ostensibly they're the U.S. ally too, with the biggest U.S. airbase there, and then no repercussions for Israel whatsoever. They can just bomb our other allies with impunity. That says it all, right? I mean,
yeah, they'll probably upset Tucker Carlson and all of them that are banging that drum, right? All right, Kaecey, to you. Should foreign governments receive U.S. support without a clear national interest?
Should foreign governments receive U.S. support without clear national interest? No. Like, foreign governments don't need anything from us. Like that is exactly what Dave just went on the rant for. We don't need to be funding all of these countries. We don't need to be going and funding everybody around the world. It is not our place. We need to mind our own business. We can't afford it. We got $38 trillion in debt, and we need to stop. We have people in the streets and Americans to take care of, but we would rather go take care of Venezuela and Iran before we take care of Americans, and it's pathetic.
Excellent.
amen.
Side to you. Should alliances override the Constitution's limits on war powers?
No, you have to go to war by voting in Congress. That's it. That's right back to the entangled alliances. We shouldn't be going to war for another country's defense. If we're allies with that country, they have, access to purchase or work out a loan for weapons with the greatest, weapon manufacturer on the planet. That's great. They have the good access to what we produce. We can sell them military equipment. That doesn't mean U.S. taxpayers have to pay it. It doesn't mean that alliance overrides every single, barrier that we have in the U.S. to actually go to war. The Patriot Act should be gone. All of that should be gone. We shouldn't have any sort of system to where you can override public interest for another country. It doesn't make any sense.
Isn't the Ukraine a loan guaranteed by stealing all their minerals?
I mean, they better pay up that one, I guess. You're not. See, that's the thing. You and me, we're not going to see any of that money.
Well, the
No.
mineral deal that they talked about never really came to fruition. And one of the reasons that it was always an idiotic idea is that a lot of the mineral deposits are in the eastern part of Ukraine, which is in the Donbass, where the Russians have occupied like 85% of the Donbass. And that was just a retarded idea from the get-go. Excuse my French, but that word's back, and I'm going to use it.
Facts.
Yeah. Shout out to Retard News. Yep. All right, Dave, back to you. The category is, speaking of the Ukraine. Should the U.S. fund Ukraine without a declared war by Congress?
No, absolutely not. They shouldn't have. And even going beyond that, the U.S. shouldn't have participated in the overthrow of the Yanukovych government in 2014, where we had Victoria Nuland talking to the U.S. ambassador, Jeffrey Piot, talking about who had to be in this provisional government. And guess what their criteria was? Who would be more adversarial toward Russia? Now, Russia is not a friend of mine, neither is any government, including my own, but I wouldn't want anyone to set up the regime affair that we had going into that kerfuffle over the Donbass now, but it really was a Russian civil war that's played out since 2014 and after several successive waves of NATO expansion. So no, the U.S. should not fund Ukraine. They shouldn't have from the get-go, and they should fund no proxy wars against any powers whatsoever. You get some right-wingers that would like to do that over Taiwan and make that a grand stand. If China ever invades Taiwan, the same principles apply. The right is better on one of those and the left is better on the other, but they both don't apply the same lessons that they should learn in either of those theaters universally. So the answer is no. It's caused a catastrophe, $200 billion down the drain, and we still don't have that over yet. And it's just a proxy war now where the weapons are going to Europe first and then Ukraine. It has to stop. Get the hell out of it. Even if you can't secure a peace, what you should do is just pull all U.S. resources out. Tell Zelensky, hey, I'll serve as a mediator if you want to have a peace and end this thing. But here's our stipulations for a peace. You don't want them? Take them to the Europeans. Let them deal with you. Or we're out of here. That's the preferable option for America. That's really America first right there.
Excellent. Kaecey, to you. Should NATO obligations override U.S. constitutional limits?
Fuck no. Like, that's just insane. Why in the hell would we allow NATO out of anything, like, to override U.S. Constitution? That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. And no, we shouldn't do it, but it's insane. But you know damn straight our government is trying to do this in some way and set some other entity as our power, global power over other countries. So it's not surprising this question is there, but it is an absolute no.
I've written thousands of these questions. There's probably been more insane ones, but I'll allow it. Side to you. Should peace negotiations be prioritized over military escalation?
Yeah, I mean, peace and trade, really. I mean, if you're going to trade with a country, it's much less likely that you're going to be trading bombs with them if you're trading goods with them. It makes much more sense to have trade agreements, to have peace negotiations that actually, help the U.S. market and developing markets around the world, because a lot of these wars start with an economic reason. So if we open up the U.S. market to other foreign markets, they have more access to markets. We have more access to whatever they're producing, and it's a win-win. I mean, that is how free trade works.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, snap. There it is.
God,
200 points.
God, yeah. Here we go. Kaecey, that was your birthday present that I did something stupid.
Was it?
Yeah, happy birthday. All right. Dave, back to you. Category is economic incentives in perpetual war. Does war spending create an incentive to keep wars going?
Absolutely. And the central banks need war and vice versa, like a fat kid needs cupcakes. Absolutely, they do. They encourage the other. And you have Trump right now promoting a $1.5 trillion Pentagon budget after already boasting about and promoting a $1 trillion Pentagon budget just to wage war. That's its purpose. That's defense spending. They call it defense spending, even though, as we talked about just earlier, the Pentagon always fails its audits, and they always keep the regime changes, the military strikes, military operations going. And the best evidence of this is Yemen and Somalia, two theaters that no one talks about, but have been theaters for over a decade and about 2 decades, respectively, with all the bombing ramped up to support it and all the excessive spending. It's just odious. It can't be accepted. Every libertarian should reject that. And it absolutely provides an incentive. And it's not just an incentive, it's a twisted and perverse one to keep the wars going.
100%. Kaecey, to you. Should overseas interventions require a tax increase so voters feel it?
Oh, Jesus. No, fuck no. Like, we can't be doing this. Like, we can't be funding all of this stuff. And fine, put it on the ballot. Americans are not going to vote for it. You're like, oh yeah, take an extra $2,000 from me this year so we can go and give Zelensky's wife a new purse or whatever she was walking around with when they came here. Like, this entire thing is ridiculous, and we can't be giving any money for interventions, and we need to be backing Americans and fixing our damn country.
Doesn't it already require a tax increase? I mean, inflation, that's a tax.
See, but you proved it wasn't a stupid question by saying people wouldn't vote for it. So it's not a stupid question then.
No.
So they would vote.
5D chess. 5D chess right there.
Well, 75D chess.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Side to you. Is the war machine a business model?
Yes or no? Well, yeah. I mean, but that now don't sit there and think because it's a business model that it's all of a sudden a great thing. All right, because business models are fantastic, but really in a free market, they're great. So if it's a business model that's having to compete with other people for, their best price and the best quality good, that's a great idea. But the military's not like that. The military-industrial complex doesn't really have to compete on the level that we really see. I mean, they do to a certain extent. You have Lockheed, you got, different competitors in the market. But, you don't really have someone behind the counter saying, maybe I shouldn't spend money on this. You have the U.S. government, and they're always going to spend money on this. So you have a little bit of competition, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite free market.
All right. Back to you, Dave. Category is foreign influence in U.S. government. Should foreign governments lobby U.S. officials at all?
Well, it depends what you mean by lobbying. If they have diplomatic parties, they should be in cooperation with the United States parties to negotiate for peace around the world. When it comes to lobbies and influencing politicians, I guess that's a little bit different outside of the scope of, ambassadorships. And that should require registration under pharma at the very least, which one country, I'll let you guess what it is, doesn't do that. Yeah, that's right. That's America's greatest ally in the Middle East. Israel doesn't have to register under FARA. And guess who got off just months after trying to make them have to do that? JFK stuck it to the AZC, the predecessor to AIPAC back in the 60s, trying to have them register to lobby our officials. And he was off just months thereafter. Look, this is a big deal because AIPAC themselves boasts about having the control of 361 representatives on their own website. As we know from Thomas Massey, every congressman has an AIPAC guy to keep them in line. And Ted Cruz, when going on Tucker Carlson's show, couldn't name a single thing that Israel's government wants that AIPAC isn't lobbying this government for. It's a pernicious collusionary scheme to undermine our sovereignty and keep the wars flowing on behalf of Israel largely, and the neocons and complicit people of the United States in the Middle East.
Excellent. Kaecey, to you. Should campaign donations from foreign linked entities be banned?
Well, I'll take it a step further, but yes, I want to see all money out of campaigns. I want to see all money out of politics. I think that is how we're having all the lobbying, all of the control, all of the manipulation. Like, where the hell did all of the money that Kamala got? Where did that go? Anybody asking those questions? Like, this money has to stop. It's going to media outlets so they can pay for commercials. And all it does is keep their friends wealthy and you poor and not getting anything you voted for. So we should be stopping all funding and all money going to political campaigns and actually voting for people that will fix this country.
All right. Side to you. Should dual citizens hold sensitive federal positions?
Dual sit. I mean, I guess you would have to define what a sensitive federal. I don't think there should be a whole lot of sensitive federal positions. I mean, in the military, you know, obviously that might be an issue. You might have to go the extra yard, but really, I mean, I don't think the federal government should have a massive amount of power outside of, you know, defending your right to life, liberty, and property. So I guess I kind of reject the idea that you should have a whole lot of sensitive federal employees outside of, you know, military issues in the first place. But dual citizens,
Boy, are you going to be bummed when you find out about our federal government.
Right?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot where you wouldn't even care. It's like, oh, you're like part, you know, but the military should definitely, you know, background checks on people, obviously check them out, but
All right.
Well, when they start a war and everybody starts coming here, they need to have a place that they can go and they won't be denied. So they'll be dual citizens for a lot of reasons.
they'll do the little Japanese camps, apparently. I don't know. Is that we're starting back up with the dual citizenship? I mean, you come here, you're an American, all right?
There's a lot you got to learn about the dual citizens.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
The sickest thing is that Congress isn't even required under law to divulge whether they are a dual citizen. So we have no idea how many there are in Congress outside of the ones that have admitted that. I mean, that's twisted alone above what should happen to prohibit this nonsense, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Take parties off the ballot, but put dual citizenship on the ballot.
Deal.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on what the other country is, right?
No.
I mean,
any country.
No.
Yeah.
were they born in Canada? I probably don't care where they, you know.
That would have gotten rid of Ted Cruz, so I'm in favor of outing Canada too. So
Tel Aviv Ted gone, Randy Fine gone.
yeah,
That's progress right there, man.
Here we
That's the
go.
progressivism I can get behind right there.
hashtag winning right there.
Mitch McConnell came from the Atlantic Ocean. He was a turtle, a little sea turtle in there.
Well, we
Too
learned
soon
earlier.
to talk about too soon to talk about Mitch McConnell? Question mark?
Did
No.
he?
Oh no. He's a war criminal, so no.
I'm waiting for the casket tweet on him, but yeah. All right.
Oh, he has to get 2 more votes in first.
Yeah, exactly. They'll wheel him in like they did Feinstein.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Live. We're good. Until it airs tomorrow, then it's too soon.
Yeah. All right. Enter your scores in the chat. The chat is absolutely fire tonight.
It
I'm gonna
is.
have to read a lot, and that's not gonna go well.
It's a good thing
Lisa
that's your-
Blaze here. What's up, Lisa? 100 to Kaecey for wanting to burn things. I will take it versus claiming to be an agorist. 100 to Carl for the daughter art. 200 to Dave for domination. Yeah, that was badass. 200 to everyone who didn't appear in the Epstein files. Brent, like I think it said I have a common name. I only showed up 8,000 times. If you saw my tweet.
He said,
100 to Cy for the tongue collection.
Oh,
There we
Jesus.
go. 200 to Dave because F regime change wars. 100 to Dave for going off. 100 to Dave. I feel like I'm watching his podcast. He's the same on the game shows in real life. That's nice. Yeah, you're doing a badass job. 100 to anyone who mentions a funny joke. We've been funny the whole time. 100 to Kaecey. There it is. Close all bases overseas. 100 to Kaecey. B-Day points. Here we go. 200 everybody. I got to make dinner. John Anarcho-Cat, one of my favorite accounts on X. Make sure you're following him. Badass memes, calling out the wars and all that stuff. Amazing.
He
stuff.
just made the meme of Dave Smith as a blue-haired college student, such that Matt Walsh could get Ben Shapiro's approval, so that Walsh could debate him. Perfect. Anarcho-Cat, good job, man. Shout out.
Love that guy. Absolutely awesome. But he gave points to Kaecey for close all military bases. 50 to Cy for the hand gestures. I thought he was like measuring his crochet stuff in his craft corner there. 100 to Cy for entangled alliances. 100 to Cy for the Fargo light accent. 100 to Kaecey for close the bases. Minus 100 to Cy. It's more than the next 26 countries combined. That is true. 123 to Cy for best buds instead of allies. 200 to Cy Carl Chuck for making NATO into World Mart. 100 to Dave. 100 to Dave for mentioning USS Liberty. 100 to Dave for that. 200 to Dave, stop all foreign aid. 100 to Dave, aid to Israel must stop, full stop. 100 to Dave, mic drop. 100 to Dave for bringing up Gaza and getting this censored on TikTok. We'll never be on TikTok.
Larry Ellison's in control now, guys. We're doomed, boys. We're doomed.
Right.
I've been thrown off TikTok so many times I never got past like 10 followers. So
And the CCP.
yeah. 200 because Kaecey, I won the TikTok argument so many times with you. I told you what was going to happen. This is what was going to happen. 200 to Dave, the genocide must stop. 200 to Dave for his F off foreign policy. 100 to Dave for all that. 100 to Dave, I want my taxes back. I didn't want my money funding genocide. 300 to Dave for Israel foreign aid rant. I'm as hard as a diamond in an ice storm. Oh my God.
This show, man, I was unprepared. I was unprepared, boys.
Yeah. We're very not popular for this exact reason. 100 to Dave, I lived in Japan too, loved it, was fluent in Japanese, had more culture shock returning to America. 100 to everyone because everyone on the show has a beard and beards are cool. No, Cy does not have a beard. Does not have a beard. That is not true.
it's coming back. I had to shave it for the.
You have a 1 o'clock shadow is what you have. You have a
Why?
1 o'clock shadow.
You did that with a Bic pen.
Yeah. In his craft corner. Minus 100 from Cy, no foreign entanglements, including selling weapons. 100 to Carl, abolish the Patriot Act. 200 to Cy Carl Chuck for being an arms dealer of the year. Congratulations on that. 100 to Dave for saying the R word. 200 to Dave for hailing back to 2014 in the Ukraine. 200 to Dave for kerfuffle. She could have also gone waffle.
Best word.
Ryan said he was going to give me points for if I said waffle tonight. 100 to Dave for proxy wars. 100 to Dave, regime affair sounds like a novel with Fabio on the cover. Plus, it was a great answer. 200 to Dave for the longest no since Scott Horton was on last year. I told you.
Yeah, I went full Scott Horton on that one, guys. I'm
I
sorry.
told you.
Apologies.
The
Never go
you got
full
the-
Scott Horton on a game show like this.
You got the Scott Horton Award, which is a prestigious award on our show. 100 a day for writing romance novels with a political theme, regime, affairs of the heart. 200 a day for invoking the great Scott Horton. Great Scott Horton just happens to be a guest on Liberty Vault tomorrow night. Oh, that's you.
Yeah, man. I'm going to talk to him for the first time. That's going to be a banger, as the kids say.
He was on our show. He was awesome. We're a huge Scott Horton fan. So
right on. Brilliant, man.
8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Excellent. 200 to Kaecey, F no to NATO. 100 to Kaecey for the over-the-top question description. Sounds like the U.S. ambassador to Tartiana. I don't even know what that means. No shit. I'm setting a reminder. 200 a day for tomorrow night's show. 100 to free. I like you better muted. Here we go.
Facts. We all do.
Yeah. I got court papers that say I'm good muted. 100 to Dave. All wars are bankers' wars. 100 to Dave. Fat kids and cupcakes mixed with Pentagon budget and audits. Creative circle talk.
I got to change it to like Randy Fine. I got to change it like to as Randy Fine loves cupcakes. That makes it even better then, right?
There you go.
Or Chris Christie. It's one of those two for every fat thing I think that you could equate to this. It's one of those two.
Yep.
I had to add Terry because like I could see Terry in the background. I have to watch this the whole time. That's why I can't talk.
No, laughing real hard or having a heart attack at this point. I don't know.
200 to Dave. Keep the wars going is twisted and perverse. Oh, here's a long one. 100 a day for bringing up the bombing in Somalia. Nobody talks about it. I just wrote a whole article about it and how it's linked to Minnesota and the fraud scandal. 100%, Mike. 100 to KC for not wanting to give Zelensky's wife a new purse.
Wait, have some decency. All right. She deserves that on the dole of the American taxpayer that's languishing by not being able to buy groceries and fuel. Have some decency, sir.
Yeah. I'll have some decency. Zelensky can go get his ass to work. Right? Yeah. That's how he can do it.
He was an excellent belly dancer from what I remember. 100 to Kaecey, no and F no. Yep, clear and concise. Great answer to the question I forgot. That's true. Right on. Dave DeCamp has done amazing reporting on Somalia and the ramped up bombing this year, and virtually no one else is covering it. Dave DeCamp is legit and the real deal. Follow antiwar.com and all of Dave DeCamp's reporting. If you're not listening to his podcast every day, you have no idea what's going on. Yep, Dave DeCamp's amazing. 100 to free double D chest. Did I hear that correctly? I don't know what we're talking about. Minus 200 to Carl. It's an extortion model, not true business. What's up, Jacob? Make sure you're following Jacob. He's got an amazing podcast. 200
One might
chat
say
points.
that. Can I sorry to interrupt? One might say that Jacob's anarchy is biblical.
Oh.
You went biblical on us. That was amazing. Yep. No, it for sure is. So follow Jacob in Biblical Anarchy and all the great work he's doing. 200 chat points to Dave for talking up anti-war news. Dave DeCamp, 100%. 100 to Cy for saying a long scientific word in Latin that free must repeat and fail for fun. I didn't have to repeat it, so you lose.
Good enough.
Plus 200 a day for tying in JFK. 100 a day for being Tom Woods and Alex Jones' love child.
I've heard worse, man. I've heard worse, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. You got points for it. So, Dave, 100% correct for the JFK factoid, the more you know. Plus 100 to Kaecey for all the money out of politics, but the only way to do that is anarchy, 100%.
Turn it down.
200 to Dave, FAPAC. Kaecey gets 100, no money in campaign. Solution, the umbrella promise, coming soon. Check out William and follow him for that. 100 to Kaecey for money out of politics. 200 to Dave. I had a typo in the first score award. Plus 100 to Cy for the unique spin to the answer, but is dodging the heart of the question. 100 to Cy for not understanding Free's question. Or minus 100 to Cy. That's fair. 100 to Dave for chats while being a panelist. Wait, twins shouldn't be allowed on the show. Minus 100 to Carl for F Canada. Lots of points for me for no parties on ballots. Minus 100 to Cy for suggesting we tolerate Canada. Yeah, they're a nuisance in Florida.
That's going too far. It's the sole exception to the regime change. We should support it in that case. Let's just be real. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
I reject the idea that anyone from Canada is a threat. Okay.
Wait, did you not hear about the maple flavored fentanyl that we had to put tariffs on them for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tastes delicious.
Trenda Aragua is harvesting all the Crown Royal and using that against our people. So let's be real, guys. Like they've killed 35,000 protesters over there over it.
Yeah.
All right.
Very polite protesters. They're like passing out Kool-Aid and stuff. They're just like sitting around a campfire.
Well-deserved points to Dave for getting rid of Ted Cruz and Randy Fine. Minus 100 to Cy. Say something about your answer. Didn't sit right. Sounded like what a statist would say. Points to the chat for voting in accordance with my payments to them. There we go. Points to Free. Read this. Thank you for your attention to this matter. 200 to Cy for doing the Vogue. That was appalling. 200 to Cy for the 1 o'clock shadow. It only took a year to grow out. Emily's here. What's up, Emily? Points to Cy for his great background. 200 to Cy if you that's Cy's wife. I just put that together.
Oh, that is. Yeah.
Do you need glasses?
There's too many Emilys. There's a lot going on.
Well,
200 to Cy if you can make Free say exsanguated or onomatopoeia. I said both of them.
He said both. Yeah.
Yeah. Minus 100 to Cy. No beard growing attempts while in the craft corner. 200 to Free for the chuckle cam.
Oh, geez.
200 to Dave. I came back to watch the show because of him. He should lose points for you coming back. No. 200 to Dave for the shameless plug of my podcast. Excellent podcast. 100 to Dave for shouting out biblical anarchy. Love that podcast. Absolutely. I've been on that show. 200 to Kaecey for burning it all down. This show is awesome. Thanks, Mike. And minus 100 to Cy for tripling down on Canada. They're corrupting our youth with their maple flavored French speaking degeneracy. That might be better than my maple flavored fentanyl joke that I've been using for like a couple of months.
That's
all right. So let's check out the scoreboard here. Oh, this is a bloodshed. This is not even worth showing the scoreboard for. Dave up 58-13. Kaecey and Carl way behind. So we don't even talk about it. All right.
It's because
let's get back to it.
It's because I'm white.
You pulled all the cards so far. Like we haven't had the cat so far, but you did birthday, you did the cute wife, you did all that stuff. Still losing bad. All right.
I'm used to losing.
Back to you, Dave. Category is deep state corruption. Should classified authority override constitutional limits?
No, absolutely not. And the government is just completely averse to any sort of transparency, which there was an era in which we generally got it. Instead, we have kind of a secretive deep state elite that's privy to all these secrets involving psychological operations on the public, like Operation Mockingbird and MK Ultra, and schemes to guide our mentalities to supporting foreign regime change wars, to bite into propaganda that, encourages excessive spending, more inflation, the growing of a surveillance state. None of this should completely transcend constitutional limits, but regardless of constitutional limits, there should be utter transparency. In a voluntary society. There would be, because organizations and institutions would live and die on the basis that they give accurate information that's digestible by the public. So whether or not you have a constitution, it's true, but it certainly shouldn't override constitutional limits either.
I agree. Kaecey, to you. Should unelected officials be allowed to defy elected leaders?
No. Unelected officials should not have any decision making in our country. And so, no, they should not be able to defy any of our elected leaders. Well, they can if they're normal citizens. Defy all you want. Be a civilian and be doing civil disobedience. But outside of that, you have no position, and you should not be able to do anything that's going against their laws that they're trying to push down. You shouldn't try to be able to stop them. Not at all.
Great pivot. I like that. Side to you. Should states be able to refuse cooperation with federal agencies?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just straight down the old 10th Amendment there. I mean, that's just a solid yes. I can't think of a reason you wouldn't. You think ATF and ICE is like competing now to see who's like the shittiest agency? Is that what's going on? They're like trying to like just
CIA would like to have a word, but yeah, there's a lot of
like the CIA.
three-letter agencies in that conversation, to be sure.
Yeah.
DHS is like the clearinghouse for like the bargain bottom bin of bad agencies.
Yes.
It's like the biggest loser, except for it's just losers.
Tallest midget.
Oh my good God.
All right. Dave, back to you. The category is power, elite corruption, and institutional cover-ups. Should the public have the right to see what national security hides?
Yeah, of course they should, but they won't because of deep state corruption. When they say national security, what they mean is duplicitous acts by people entrenched in political power that they want to hide from me and you. It's not national security. What national security is protecting the American populace from invasions and insurrections, which again, it's never happened in the last century. All of our national security involves regime change operations and military strikes and proxy wars and psychological operations on the public to support all the above. It's odious and it can't be accepted. So yeah, the public should be privy to that information, especially if it stops some of the madness, which it would, and that's why they hide it.
Absolutely true. Kaecey, to you. Do powerful institutions protect their own no matter what?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Never heard of him.
Like
Why are you
they
still
protect
talking about Epstein?
They need to protect them until they don't need them, and then they'll get rid of them and they'll just replace them with somebody else. And so, yeah, the powerful institutions protect their own, which all the politicians, the lobbyists, and everybody else, that is what all of these companies are doing. And that is why I say we need to get all money out of politics, is it just keeps getting exchanged and going around and making all of themselves wealthy and benefiting the elites before even helping any Americans at all.
Totally agree. Side to you. Should secret settlements and sealed records be banned for public agencies?
Secret settlements. And I mean, if it's like to protect the victim of what's going on, maybe like you can black out that part. But if it's to protect the perpetrator of whatever that secret settlement is, no. Or if it, I guess in some circumstances, if you're like trying to do a case to get to a bigger criminal, you would want like a certain period of time where you would lock it, and then a period of time where you wouldn't. But that's kind of a complicated question, I guess, the more I think about it. But for the large part, really just for the victim of whatever settlement system you're talking about.
All I heard you say was great question. So good job by you. All right. Dave, to you, category is crony capitalism. Should corporations receive taxpayer subsidies?
No, none at all. And not just corporations. No one should receive subsidies, because how that's provided is through fleecing me and you to support that. And yeah, the consequences of tying corporations too closely to government presents, again, conflicts of interest. and phony economies that are built up through economic central planning. I thought Republicans were supposed to be against that, or at least they pretended to be. And then they keep the money streams flowing to JP Morgan and Pfizer and Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all these preposterous companies that wreck the American public through these phony economies. And that's what the economy is built on, this money spigot, which is a wealth transfer from poor people and middle class people to the richest among us. It's not voluntarism. It's not capitalism. It's central planning. It's obscene, and it should never be accepted.
Absolutely. Kaecey, to you. Should bailouts exist for any private business?
No. We bailed out everybody in 2008. We're going to probably bail out a bunch of other people now since the dollar is in the shitter. But we're trying to say our economy is great, but the dollar is horrible. But no, we shouldn't be bailing anybody out. You should run all companies should run it just like we would. We don't get bailed out if we we can't make our bills or any of those things. So no private business should receive a bailout.
All right. Side to you. Should monopolies created by regulation be dismantled?
Well, you should really just get rid of the regulations that cause the monopoly. I mean, it does kind of suck in that instance, because it's like with these economic issues, it's like, sure, you can get rid of the regulations that cause the monopoly, but you know, those companies just have to wait 4 years. So you really need like some solid like amendment type action to actually like solidify it, so that, you know, companies aren't just, you know, oh, we didn't get a bailout this year, we'll just wait, you know, for the next guy, you know, stuff like that. Like it's kind of ridiculous how little time they have to wait to actually like reverse those regulations and reverse those crony capitalism things that put them into power. So you really need something more solid to keep crony capitalism out of our political structure.
Totally agree. Dave, to you, category is states' rights. Should federal law automatically override state law?
No, and it doesn't even under the current constitutional system. If you read the Supremacy Clause, Article 6, Section 2, it clearly says that all laws that are pursuant to the Constitution are the supreme law of the land, but that's to imply that there is the possibility of some laws that aren't conducive or pursuant, as the founders put it, to the Constitution. So no, absolutely not. The states in our constitutional order, whether or not you agree with the Constitution or not, have specific sphere of powers that don't apply to the federal government, and the federal government cannot, by way of law, usurp them. I hate to tell you that that's what they've done, especially in the last century, since the progressive era especially. But no, federal laws should absolutely never just innately override laws of the states. I'd even go further on this, is that the laws of localities, including counties and cities and communities, should not necessarily be overridden by the state governments too, all the way down to the individual, to the point that we have complete voluntarism and everything is done by consent, what we would accept as a moral, ethical code for libertarians.
Facts.
Great answer. Kaecey, to you. Should states have the right to refuse unconstitutional federal laws?
Yes. And I encourage them to do, because during COVID, out of all of them, that is where you started seeing the federal government trampling on our rights in our states. And finally, some states started fighting back, but we caved to the federal government. And now people are asking Minnesota to do the same exact thing to the federal government, when no, we need to be supporting the states' rights, which is your individual rights, to where you can fight back against a tyrannical government. If we cave at every branch of government up to the federal government that is above you, you will be ruled by communism and you will be done just overnight.
Absolutely. Side to you. Should states control their own election rules?
I mean, if it's within the state, yeah, but I think federal elections might have to be handled a little differently. I mean, the whole FEC, Federal Elections Commission thing, it's Republicans and Democrats deciding Republicans and Democrats get to party with them, right? I mean, you got a 15% rank that no one's ever really going to get. Even, what was it, 2016? That was like the closest year we got, and that was not even 5%. So, yeah, it's ridiculous that we don't allow any other views besides like Republicans and Democrats. And honestly, I mean, like a ranked choice voting system could, potentially help. There's also star voting, different things. It doesn't really matter what you try in that situation, but really, the voting structure for federal elections should probably be a little different. For state elections, sometimes obviously there's specific reasons why these states are getting sued when they hold an election. It's because they're holding an election in an unfair way that doesn't allow any competition within the political sphere. So obviously, I think there's a huge amount of problems with state elections, but obviously the federal ones, those should be slightly different. But
Good answer. Dave, back to you. Category is individual rights. Do rights come from government or exist before it?
Exists before it if we're talking about natural law, meaning the powers that we would exercise as individuals before government in a state of nature, as the Enlightenment theorists talked about it, John Locke and Hobbes, etc. We would have the ability to protect ourselves, to own ourselves, everything flowing from self-ownership, including the labor that we exert and the wealth that we acquire through that labor. So yeah, rights definitely precede government. Now, there are some civil rights that governments bestow, but they're just based on other criteria, such as, hey, the right to serve on a jury. That's not necessarily a natural law, because there's nothing saying, hey, you have the right to serve on a jury without a government and it has to be 12 people, etc. So there is a separate category of rights that are civil rights, but as a general answer, yes, rights precede government and are flowing from the individual. And this is on the basis of of natural law, the idea that a creator gave us these rights, or if you're an atheist, you believe that it's an extension of your humanity. So that's what I think.
Excellent. Kaecey, to you. Should juries be allowed to nullify unjust laws?
All day, every day. Yes. The answer is absolute yes. We don't even need to elaborate. It's just yes. And I encourage anybody, it's in the chat. We got 5,000 people watching. Research nullification, be prepared. And then when you go into a jury, you'll be able to nullify unjust laws and do what service you're supposed to be doing for our country.
Totally agree.
Amen, man.
Side to you. Should rights depend on federal interpretation?
I mean, if they're interpreting the Constitution as written, sure. But, interpretation is not, I mean, the words mean as they are written. I mean, the interpretation of the Constitution is kind of like, the most like argued thing is like, no, it means what it means when it was originally written. So I don't think it's up to interpretation at the federal level.
I didn't know you were done. Sorry, that was on me. That was on me. You looked quizzically, and I didn't know we were done. All right, Dave, back to you. Category is decentralization as a safeguard against tyranny. Is concentrated power the root problem in American politics?
Absolutely. And some of the best anti-federalists predicted that this would be the problem with the new constitutional order, that they referenced Montesquieu, the famous French philosopher, that said that no republic can long endure over a territory stretched so far as the U.S. even was in 1787. So absolutely, it's the gradual centralization of power through what? Through precedent, usurping powers from the localities, usurping powers from the states, even the executive himself has usurped power from Congress, especially in terms of things like war powers, where Congress is just so deferential toward this one person and his cabinet, with people like Marco Rubio largely wielding maybe the most power in this government as both the Secretary of State and the Homeland Security Advisor. Over time, this has been catastrophic for the American people. The Romans knew about this. They talked about it often. The English people, as they languished under tyrannical kings like John and Charles I, knew about this. The centralization of power is the overarching concern when it comes to the destruction of liberty. It manifests in so many ways, and absolutely, that's a nightmare for everyone.
Absolutely. Kaecey, to you. Should states reclaim major powers from Washington?
Yes. Empower the states, not the federal government. Allow the states to make decisions, allow the states to be able to trade with each other. We don't need the federal government to be doing any business, anything involved inside our borders. Their responsibility was supposed to protect our nation from our borders outward. And let's leave it that way. Put everything back to the states.
Totally. Sorry, we got stuff going on. Side to you. Should local communities set policies even if they differ widely?
I mean, to a certain extent, but I mean, the majority of local communities are probably, going to be water, sewage, different things like that. Obviously, if you have a local community with a massive amount of zoning rules, I mean, I guess you don't want to zone a sewage park next to a living center, but that's about it, really. So, I mean, for the majority of that, sure, policy, but after that, zoning regulations and who can build what type of place where, and who can construct what type of place, whether it's like a 3-story home or taller or anything like that. That part really doesn't make sense. You can do what you want with your land up to a reasonable amount, as long as it doesn't affect your neighbor.
Tell me you haven't been to Florida without saying you haven't been to Florida. That's really what I
Right.
heard you say there.
Yeah.
Hey, Florida's supposed to be the freest state.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why our sewage is next to our living communities. All right. Dave, back to you. Category is energy independence barriers. Should federal agencies pick energy winners and losers?
No, absolutely not, because liberty depends on competition. And when you have the government picking winners or losers through subsidies and trade privileges and regulations that push would-be competitors out, you don't have competition. You have the antithesis of competition, which again props up phony economies. Americans are sick and tired of the central government exercising central planning. It's what turns economies into the dumps and keeps people that are entrepreneurs, innovators out of the markets. It's, just completely atrocious to see that play out in every sector, let alone energy. And when the government subsidizes things like ethanol, it makes no benefit for the American people, when we should be depending on firms competing with each other and letting the cream rise to the top. We don't have that in the current situation in the energy market, in the food market, big tech, etc. But absolutely, that's my point of view.
Agree. Kaecey, to you. Should states control their own energy policies?
Yes. Create your own grid system. Get off of the federal, I don't know what you want to call it, the whole grid system that's nationwide, minus Texas. Texas at least has something. The rest of us are dependent on the federal government and the power grid. We should be supplying and creating our own energy so we can secede and leave the union if we ever see we want to. But because we are so intertwined, it's going to make it very difficult until we separate ties there.
Absolutely. Side to you. Should communities decide their own energy mix?
I mean, the citizens should decide their own energy mix. The market should decide the energy mix. I mean, it's like, I think it should really a lot of these questions to go down to the individual, right? Like, if I want solar panels and windmills. They were this huge revolutionary thing that was going to bring energy independence to all of these individual citizens. And then they took all that money and then they basically decide, we'll give it to this company. They'll set up the windmills, solar panels, and sell it back to you. And you won't ever be independent. It's ridiculous. So it's like, yeah, you have a commercial energy source like nuclear energy. That's great. You can, purchase that energy. It's pretty cheap. But they basically put massive limitations on everything that it takes for an average U.S. citizen to become energy independent by themselves. Like that part doesn't even happen. So, I mean, I think I'm going to go lower to citizen at that point.
Totally agree. All right, last 3 questions of the night. Back to you, Dave. Category is medical licensing, regulation, and access. Should federal approval be required for every medical decision?
No, none whatsoever. And occupational licensing is one of the biggest barriers to getting affordable services, medical services or not. It provides a barrier. It's essentially a brick wall in front of an entrepreneur trying to delve into that and then getting into, these highly, orchestrated hoops to jump through to provide those services. That shouldn't be the case in medical services. Even if you're talking about living and dying, lives on the line here, competition is what is going to assure the elevation of lives, the consistency of good healthcare, good health concerns. And it's not these stupid occupational licensure programs, not only in the medical realm but others, that again is not based on competition. It's based on economic central planning. It's another thing like subsidies that has to be done away with.
Absolutely.
Big facts.
Kaecey, to you. Should patients be allowed to try treatments banned by federal agencies?
Yeah. Dave said it earlier. Drugs. If you want to consume something and it doesn't harm anybody else, which it's not going to, it'll harm you, then it's your choice. But you should also be able to experiment. Like, just because the doctor went to school for 10 years doesn't mean he knows everything. Doesn't mean he knows what's right for you. Doesn't mean that this little thing that was found on this island on the other side of the planet that may be able to help you. So I encourage all of that because I do not believe in the healthcare system. I believe they are meant to keep you unhealthy, so you are a returning customer.
Absolutely. Sai, last question of the night to you. Are medical monopolies protected by regulation?
Yeah. So every single level of government, they're protected. So you have the AMA, biggest organization in the U.S., biggest union in the United States, right? So they basically get to decide how much reimbursement amount that they'll pay for a specific amount of doctors every single year. And that one, it was just recently increased, but before that, it wasn't even increased since like 1997. And then you have at the state level certificate of need laws that basically decide you can't compete in here because the community, we don't really need you. Even if they need you, it doesn't matter because the board is everyone on their competitor list. So pretty much every single level of government, you have regulatory issues with medical industries, and it kind of screws them over. Rural hospitals are doing awful right now because there was a huge funding cut. And it's like every single 4 years, you have to worry about who's going to get elected and who's going to fund whatever organization you're in. And that just shouldn't happen. The government shouldn't have that much power at all. They shouldn't be able to fund any of it.
Facts.
Absolutely. All right. We've reached the end of the night. Enter your scores in the chat. Tell us who you think won. Tell us what you thought of the night. Let's jump into the chat one last time here. A lot going on here. And Anarcho Cat reposted. Appreciate that. 100 to Dave. Need to pad his lead. Yeah. We shouldn't have rulers, but if we have them, unelected appointed bureaucrats are far worse. 100 to Kaecey. Ha ha ha. 200 to Cy competing for shittiest agency. That was good. 100 to Carl for the 10th Amendment. 200 to Cy for citing 10th Amendment and crapping on the ATF and DHS. Totally deserved. 100 to everyone for knowing the Constitution better than our elected representatives. I asked Massey one time how many representatives he thought read the Constitution. I said a third. He's like, yeah. So it's bad. 200 to Cy, DHS aren't the biggest losers. They're just losers. 100 to Cy, biggest losers among 3-letter agencies. Yeah, they're all losers. 100 to Dave for using big words that I don't understand. That would be any words really. Know me. 100 to Dave for understanding that everything they do in the name of national security is actually hurting our national security.
Yep.
Can't stay, but plus 200 to everyone. Great show. Appreciate you, Jacob. 100 to Kaecey. I'd give you more, but freeze government caps my points. Epstein's a great one-word answer. Minus 100 to Cy for showing his sweat stains. Yeah, that's fair. Minus 500 to every person who doesn't bring up alliteration. What's up, Darren? Thanks for joining us. 200 to Cy for complimenting Free's question. That's what I heard too. 100 to Cy, bazinga. More complicated the more I think about it. Okay, Cy Carl Chuck. I forgot what you're talking about. Minus 15. Minus 100 to Cy, public agencies shouldn't have secrets. Minus 200 to whoever complains about the questions. Thank you, Jacob. 100 to Dave for saying tax the rich. 100
Did not
to Kaecey.
say that, by the way, at any point. That was AOC, Darren. That was not this guy. I look slightly different. I know it might be close, but
I think we'd have to see the booty to be 100% correct on that.
Speaking of which, Alex Stein will be my guest in 2 nights on Liberty Vault.
Nice, nice. 100 to Kaecey, no bailouts. That Dave guy should have his own show or something. He uses big words well. 200. 200 to Kaecey, just saw your shirt. Nice. Hebrews 12 verse 2 is here. 100 to Kaecey for no bailouts. 200 NC no bailouts. I think that might be Kaecey. We spell it wrong a lot. 200 to Kaecey if he turns the, or 200 to Cy if he turns the love sign around on his desk so it's not backwards. No, I liked it backwards.
Yep.
50 to Dave for saying Constitution. Dave gets 100. Dave gets 100 points pursuant to answering the question in a brief matter, almost briefly. 100 to Dave for understanding the Constitution. 100 to Dave, individual liberty. Consenting voluntarism, another 200 to Dave. 200 to Kaecey for not caving to the federal government. 2 to Dave just to keep Terry on her toes. She appreciates that. 100 to Kaecey for states' rights. Kaecey gets 100 correct during COVID states cave to the federal government. Let's not forget tyranny. Let's spell stuff correctly, people. Cy 100. I miss you in the chat. It's good to see you on screen too. 100 to Cy for ranked choice voting. Oh my God, what is that? 42 is here. Welcome. Emily's got points to Carl for his answer in state versus federal elections. 6 to Cy because I just passed 6K followers on X. I'd like a recount. 200 to Dave for acknowledging natural rights. Minus 100 to Cy. Sorry, ranked choice voting doesn't work. Voting and voting harder or differently won't fix this mess. Points to Kaecey for nullification. Points to Dave for natural law answer. Phil's here. What's up, Phil Ring? 200 to KFC for nullification. That might be my favorite new KC nickname.
I'm hungry now, dude. That's rough.
Yeah, he's breaded and awesome.
It's and that Casey's finger licking good. Is that what you say?
This is getting awkward.
Dude, the chicken littles were bomb.
Oh my good hell.
Terry's dying. Kaecey gets 100. Yes, research nullification. Another 100 to Kaecey for nullification. Terry's killing me. 200 to Cy for originalist view. 200 for nullification. 200 a day for mentioning anti-federalists. Facts. 100 a day for precedent. 100 a day if you tell us your favorite book behind you. Choose wisely.
Murray Rothbard's Conceived in Liberty, if I have to say.
There you go.
That's a good answer. Terry took herself off the screen. 125 to Dave for channeling Dennis Miller's talking style.
Other people have said that. I don't see it, but others have said that.
I see it now that it was said. Yeah.
Yeah.
100 to Kaecey for empowering the states over the federal government. Governance must be closer to the people. 100 to Cy, should be able to build a sweatshop over the top of my house. Oh boy. 100 to Cy, he channeled Mimi, the structural engineer from last week's show. Minnie Robson, she's amazing. I'll see her at the California convention next week. 100 to Cy, or 200 to Cy for not putting a sewage plant next to my house. That's fair. 100 a day for promoting free market. Points to Carl for local community answer. By the way, this is his mom, and he needs to show me how to change my handle.
Nepotism points? Like what?
Yeah, right.
Wife and my mother's name are both Emily.
This
that
is
true?
getting even more weird.
There's way too many Emilys. That's going to screw me up really bad.
Mom, so it's never been weird for me. It's like I always called her mom.
I'll call it weird for all of us. 1,000 to me. Just follow Dave on X and YouTube. Everybody should do that. 100%. 1 to Cy for the Trump hands. Oh, that's from Kaecey. 100 to Kaecey. That's right. In Texas, we have our own grid. Don't mess with Texas. Hashtag Texit. 100 to Cy for pro energy independence. 100 to each because I'm high and I lost track. That happens a lot on our show. 100 to Carl for bringing up nuclear power. 100 to Cy for having a background fit for someone who reads romance novels. Yeah, that's fair. 100 to Dave. Fed has created a wall that prevents lower costs for medical services. Kaecey gets 100. I like his answers. Brilliant mind. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. You sure you meant Kaecey? No, 100% for Kaecey. He's awesome. 100 to Kaecey. My body, my choice. Damn right, Kaecey. 200 for not trusting allopathy. 200 to Cy for abolishing certificates of need. It's getting late. 100 to Cy, certificate of need. 100 to Cy, correct every level of government, adds regulatory issues, facts. Banger show, fire chat, going to fix my Google avatar. Yeah, please get on that. 200 to Kaecey for supporting my geriatric skateboarding. This is my first X live stream. Emily sent me here. Appreciate you, brother. Why should we spell it correctly if Free can't pronounce it correctly? That's 100% fair.
Facts.
We're just trying phone at Ikali. Phonetically. There we go. 200 to Cy. You did it. I forgot what I was talking about though. That's a great way to end it. Let's check the scores one last time. It got really close at the end here. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Dave with the win, 83-90. Kaecey, the birthday boy, snuck right in. Yeah, and then Cy's right there too.
Yeah.
The negative points hurt you there, Cy, is really the moral of the story. Yeah.
I mentioned Canada. Gone.
That was yeah. That was Canadian dumb was really what that was. I don't know. I'm struggling. Cy, third place. What'd you think, man?
Oh, it was great. I still don't think the Canadians are a threat to anyone. I mean, besides the maple syrup heroin cartel.
Yeah. You can follow Cy on X. He is at Cy Libertarian. He's always here in our chat, and he makes the show so much better. He's a good friend of mine. Appreciate you, Cy. Thanks for doing this, buddy. Kaecey, the birthday boy, pulled out all the tricks, came up a little short. I think it was because of the Broncos. What do you think, bud?
No, it's all good. I'm a libertarian. I'm used to losing, so I don't have to be in first place. It's normal. If I win, it's going to be weird, but overall, it was great. Hearing Dave and his thoughts. Carl was there. It was too distracting with everything behind him, but overall, it was a great night. We had a good conversation.
We supported Ryan Woodcraft, so we won. So we did win at one point.
At one point in El Paso. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
What about Woodcraft's historical victory in El Paso?
No, we don't say that. We can't say that anymore.
He's not here, so we don't have to pander to him.
Oh,
You can follow Kaecey on X at American versus Gov. Follow his wife too. Emily's amazing. Check out his show, They Both Suck podcast, semi-annually on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. and get his amazing gear like the shirt he's wearing tonight. awakenotwokestore.com. Appreciate you, brother. Also, for anybody that doesn't know, Kaecey does so much to actually help me press the right buttons occasionally and get these live shows going at all the state conventions we're doing. So really appreciate you, brother. Dave, first time on, big win. What'd you think?
Well, beginner's luck, but apparently paying off chatters works as good, if not better, than federal officials paying off their lobbyist cronies. So that's what I can attribute it to. I had a good time. Thanks, Free. Thanks to other contestants here. This was a blast. It was fun, and we'll do it again, hopefully. So
that'd be awesome, man. Anytime, you're welcome back. And you can follow Dave on X at dbenner83. Make sure you check out his website at libertyvault.net. Also subscribe to his YouTube at liberty-vault and check out his show. He's got a bunch of bangers coming up. Do you want to plug any of that while we're here?
yeah, me and Scott Horton tomorrow night at 8 p.m. CST on Liberty Vault on YouTube. And then 2 days from now, which I guess is Thursday, me and Alex Stein on Liberty Vault, 8 p.m. CST as well. Thanks, everyone. Please do subscribe. Really appreciate it. And, you know, it's just a blessing to be able to talk about Liberty with other people that know about it. So thank you guys for that.
Absolutely. Great having you. Add Terry back to the stage because she kicked herself off earlier. Terry, what'd you think tonight?
I had a freaking blast. I'm still giggling. I'll probably still be giggling at midnight and get zero sleep tonight, but that's all right. You guys were awesome. I appreciate all of you. You know I do. I hope everybody in the chat sure seemed to have a good time, and they were on fire as always. You gotta love them. And Free, do you want to know who's on Friday night?
I do.
You do? Okay, well, surprise. Kyle Davis from LP Alliance will be joining us, along with Sergio Ortega from the LP Classical Liberal Caucus and Brent Freeman of the Aiming Up podcast. Will all three be here on Friday night. It'll be a blast. They're all three a lot of fun, so you guys come back and join us then. And as I have been doing, speaking of states' rights, if you are following me, please help me out with the Oklahoma House Bill number 3119. There's going to be a huge gathering at the state capitol on February the 24th from 2 to 5 p.m. Second floor rotunda. We have a lot of sponsors. It's in committee and getting ready to go to the House floor. More updates on that tomorrow. So another exclusive. So you guys that are helping me out, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
And we got Leslie on Saturday as well.
Yes, Saturday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Leslie is the author of this bill, and my daughter-in-law, she's an amazing young woman. And Free is the only person that had the nerve and took the chance on interviewing her, I guess almost 2 years ago now. So he's going to be her first interview since getting the House bill passed too. Well-deserved, and we both appreciate Free a lot.
Love you both a lot, and you're doing amazing work, and Leslie's just amazing. So
yes.
I'm really looking forward to Saturday. You can follow me and Terry on X. I am Smarter Game Show. She is Bats T76. You can get our swag at freedomsuperstore.com. The shorts from this will be up on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. We will be at all of these state conventions, California next week, then Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas, and then finalizing it with the national convention in Grand Rapids. So that's going to be a really good time. We're really looking forward to having Spike Cohen on. You Are the Power fundraiser, March 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 3-hour extravaganza. Thank you again to all of our subscribers. You're amazing. You can subscribe to us on X if you would like, and you can sponsor us by sending an email to studio@freedomuncut.com. Thank you to everybody in the chat. This was a lot of fun. The chat was absolute fire tonight. And we will see you Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.